Okay, guys, so what I'm going to talk about real quick is how to do a TPCAST poem analysis on the poem Annabel Lee. So when you open up your document in Schoology, so you're going to click today's folder, and then you're going to click TPCAST, and then it will have the poem's name, Annabel Lee. So you can use this structure every single time that we do, or this analysis form for every poem that we use. So here is an example of what you will do, and I've color coded them so you will see each stanza more clearly. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to tell me what the title is. So the title, I think, and this is what you do before you do anything at all. And I want you to do this before you start reading. So what do you think Annabel Lee is about? You're going to type it in here. So I think the name Annabel Lee is about, many of the students today often thought it was about the doll, which is, obviously not what it's about, but the prediction was it's about the doll. Or maybe it was about somebody's life. So the next one, you're going to paraphrase. And this one, you're going to tell me a little bit about, translate the poem line by line. Now, you don't have to do that. You can paraphrase or summarize in your own words this particular poem. So, for example, it was many and many a year ago in a kingdom by the sea. So when did it happen? A long time ago. That a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. So you would break this down and tell me in your own words, this stanza is about. So let me go through the whole poem and then we'll break down each stanza using TPCAST. It was many and many a year ago in a kingdom by the sea that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee. With a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago in the kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels not half so happy in heaven went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. So when we go back to the top, you're going to tell me exactly what you think each stanza is about in your own words. It was many and many a year ago in a kingdom by the sea that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. So it was many and many a year ago. That tells me it happened a long time ago, someplace near some water. That a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. The maiden, in this case, is talking about a young woman, probably single. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. So this young girl, single young girl, only wanted to be loved and only wanted to love him. So you would put that in your own words. What is that stanza talking about? I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. We were both young. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee. We loved so much greater than what you would understand love to be. With a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. Winged seraphs of heaven. What would that be? Your clue words here would be wings and heaven. Angels. Coveted her and me. What does that mean? And so coveted, that's one of what I call $5 words. Covet is something you really, really want. So it's kind of like Rocket Raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxy when he goes and he wants to take something. His motivation is like, well, I wanted it more. That's the way the poet is sharing what the winged seraphs want. They covet the love of he and Annabel Lee. And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee. So what's happened here is he's telling you why she got sick. So this was the reason a wind blew out, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee. So what happens if you are out in the cold? And I lived up in South Dakota, and it got really cold, a lot of snow, and we would bundle up, wear thicker clothes and a jacket so we wouldn't get sick. So if you get too cold, your mom says, hey, make sure you wear a coat. Unfortunately for Annabel Lee, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling her, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away to shut her up in a sepulchre in a kingdom by the sea. So her family, and we've learned a new thing about Annabel, she probably came from a wealthier family than this guy. Kinsman is not kingsman, like as you would think, like a soldier or somebody who is a guard or who works for the king. This is highborn, somebody who is definitely better off than the poet. And family came and bore her away from me. So to bear someone away is to carry them away. And to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. I'm going to hold off on that because we get an explanation at the end. The angels, not so half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Doesn't that sound like what we talked about a minute ago? The angels were jealous. They weren't as happy as Annabel Lee and he. So they were envying her again. They were wanting what they had. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. So some night, one very, very cold night, Annabel Lee became very sick and died. But our love, it was stronger but far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. Our love is stronger than those who are older. I think he's talking about those people who have been married for a long time. You would think, they really must love each other. So wiser, that's associated with people who are older. But our love, it was stronger by far than those. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. So where do angels live? They live in heaven. And where do demons live? Well, they live down under somewhere else. They can never dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. That's talking about we can never break apart. We are so bonded. We are so joined and connected. So you'd say, hey, that's what this is about. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. When does the moon rise? At night. And we often dream at night, so it doesn't rise without bringing me a dream. So he dreams every night of Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. So stars do not come out. It is dark. And I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee, who we know has died. And in the dark, we can still sense her. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. So we know that he dreams of her every night. He can feel her around him. And where does he go every night? He lies down by her side, by her tomb by the sounding sea.